The best piece of advice I have for someone trying to succeed in the film industry or any creative space is if you're doing what everyone else is doing, you're doing it wrong.
One of the best to ever do it.
What is freedom? I think I stole this from Bob Dylan, but maybe I stole this from Woody Guthrie. Freedom for me is waking up in the morning and going to sleep at night, and in between doing exactly what I want to do. What's the secret to happiness? The secret to happiness is finding something you love and then doing that for the rest of your life.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Site Review Tuesday. I'm Robert with Zenfolio Customer Success, and I want to say thank you for joining me. Now here in a minute, we're going to get to reviewing one of your websites, and I do want to point out that while this has been pre-recorded, I'm hanging out in the chat, interacting with you guys live and answering your questions. Now, if you're interested in having your website reviewed, there's a link in the description below this video where you can submit your site. And in addition to getting a site review, I also offer a one-on-one session to each photographer who has had a site review done to help them answer any questions or assist in making any changes that they may want to make. Now, don't forget, we also live stream every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, so I hope to see you there. Let's get into the site review. All right, so here we are on hatphotog.com, and we're going to go ahead and start the review here on the homepage. So this looks like a custom page, maybe a splash page or something that you set up in custom pages, where you've got your logo and then you click on one of these two to enter the site. So this is a pretty cool design. I've seen a lot of people try to achieve something like this, and you can definitely do this with custom pages. So let's just go ahead and take a look and see where this is taking us. So if I click on portraits, it's going to open up. It looks like it's opening up in a new tab here, and it's taking me to what is actually your built-in Zenfolio homepage. You can tell by the menu over here. So let's go ahead and just talk about this page really quick. So the first thing that I have to say is that there are watermarks over the images. Now, if you want to have those on there, I feel like that's fine to do, but your watermark is really busy, and I'm not sure if this is the best presentation for your portrait homepage where people are landing. The other thing as well is when you hover over the image, we've got these social media icons showing up here. So something to think about is, do you want this to be a nice and clean presentation, or do you want it to have this stuff? If you want these photos to have their watermarks in their client galleries, you just need to copy them into a new gallery for your homepage and remove that watermark option from that gallery and set that gallery to link to your homepage. So it's definitely possible to have that stuff here. Also too, this one up here has a kind of a logo on the top right corner, and not seeing that on the rest of these photos. So you just want to make sure that you keep things consistent, especially on this first landing page where people are going to look at your portraits. Also too, there are quite a bit of photos here, so I have to scroll down and see, you know, there's quite a bit of photos. I would probably pick out my top 10 portrait orientated or portrait images and put on the homepage, and then from there maybe have them broken down into subcategories over on your site menu. Now, the other thing I'm noticing as well is that there's not really a portfolio section here. So I'm looking at these photos. Let's see what happens if I click on one. So if I click on one, it's going to the quick shop where this photo is set to visit shop. So from your splash page, we clicked on portraits, we went to your Zenfolio homepage where we're now seeing these photos, and if I click on them, it's taking me kind of to a shop, but I can't buy anything unless I click visit shop. This is really confusing for a potential visitor or for a potential client. They're landing here, they're seeing the photos with all the watermarks, then they're clicking on them, it's taking them to where they could buy it, but it's kind of a portfolio, but then they have to click visit shop to buy it. So immediately this setup is pretty confusing. Honestly, probably what I would do is I would have this link right here when it's clicked on to go to some kind of portraits portfolio, even if it's just a group page where your portraits are broken down into different categories like maternity, newborn, teens or kids or whatever you want to call it, but having it go to a portfolio page where it's kind of broken down and then they can click on the specific category that they want to view. This home page here and the way that it's functioning is really confusing, has the watermarks all over it, and then when you click on the photo it goes here, and then I can't buy anything, I have to go to visit shop. So I would definitely think about that. The other thing too is that there's not an option over here for me to see more photos. So there's not a portfolio section here. There's not a really clear outlined path for me to follow if I'm a potential client looking to see if maybe you're a photographer that I want to hire. Now the other thing as well is so far I have no idea what area you service, and so that's another thing to keep in mind as well. So far I have no idea what areas you service, so I'm not even sure if you're a photographer that I could work with. Also too, your logo right here is a little tight, so you probably want to try and add get that logo open in Photoshop and crop around it a little bit and leave a little bit of space for padding here so that it's not as tight to the edge of this sidebar over here. Now the other option too is always switching to use the header, where you have a lot more control over your logo in the header. Okay, let's go ahead and move on down here to client galleries and see where this goes. All right, and so the client galleries is now taking me to a page that kind of looks like a portfolio page, but it's client gallery. So it says portraits. Again, we have the watermarks here, which if this is a client gallery, that's fine. But also we have these categories here. So let's just go in here and take a look. So then we're going to cake smashes, and now there's only one gallery that we can view, and if I click on that gallery I have to register to see the photos. So this is definitely a little confusing. Clicking on here, this going to client galleries, and then clicking on one of these categories, and I'm seeing all these password protected galleries. Now I'm just assuming that this is probably set up for your actual clients. And if that's the case, you might want to look into the gallery access feature, or just removing your client galleries altogether from your homepage section or from accessing on your website and doing the Zenfolio built-in email invite, which is my personal favorite because you can schedule emails out to be sent to the clients and it gives them a direct link to their gallery. So rather than them having to go to your website, click on client galleries, click on their category, and then click on their gallery and enter the password, which that was, let's go back. How many steps is that going to be for a client? So if we're a client and we go to your website, that's 1 click, 2 clicks, 3 clicks, 4 clicks, and then we have to enter the password. So the way you have it set up, that's 4 clicks, then you have to enter a password. If you utilize Zenfolio's built-in email invite, you can actually email them a direct link right to their gallery, and the clients don't have to go in here and do all this searching. What do you guys think in chat? Do you guys use a client setup like this where they have to locate their gallery? Are you guys using client access where they put in a gallery ID and go right to their photos? Or do you guys use the email feature? Let me know in chat. I would be curious to see what you guys are using. Okay, so the client galleries is definitely set up for your clients. So let's see if we can't just get in here since they're here. Okay, so at least you have these all locked down with a password, or the majority of them, so good job on that. Let's keep moving ahead to your about photo here, or about page here. All right, so here on your about page, something doesn't seem to be working here. Not sure what's going on with this. If it's a photo that's not loading, if it's a video, or just something that's not supported, you definitely want to make sure that you have a nice about photo here, so that clients can see what you look like, so that when you guys meet in person for the first time, they're not like, oh, is that her? Or is that you? They see a picture of you, and so they know what to look for. So let's just see what kind of information you have down here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, fourth paragraph here, and I'm assuming that you are still working in New York. Says you moved there in June of 2015, but again, I'm on your 1, 2, so 3 pages in to the about page, third paragraph down. I finally see some kind of location information. This is really great information here. It's really nice. It really lets your personality come across talking about your kids. Again, I'm a big advocate for video, so everybody who has an about page that doesn't have a video, I'm probably going to say this over and over again. It is just really awesome to have that about video so people can immediately connect with you on a personal level and decide if they like you and you're something they can get along, somebody they can get along with. But the information that you have in here is really nice. It lets your personality come across. I'm just not seeing any definite, like, I work here, so if you live here, you can contact me and we can work together kind of thing. And that's really what I'm looking for. But I think the information you have here is nice. All right, let's go up to the blog and see what you have going on in the blog. All right, so in the blog, your last update was November 6, 2018. That is November, December, January, February, March. That's 4 months since you put a blog post up. If you're not going to blog at least once a month, I would probably remove the blog and put your focus on something else. Focus your attention somewhere else if you're not going to blog once a month. You don't have to blog about clients. You don't have to blog about photography all the time. You can blog about whatever you want. There are so many different things you can blog about. The important thing is that it's consistent and that there's something up here at least once a month. So as a potential visitor, I'm going in here and I'm like, oh, they're active. They just blogged last month, or they just blogged, you know, here in March. Not, oh, their last blog was November 6, 2018. I wonder if they're still taking on clients or if they're still, you know, they're still active. So definitely something that you want to look at here. Let's see. So it looks like September. So July to September. So you skipped a couple of months there and then went from September to November. So again, blogging once a month. If you're going to have a blog up here, blog once a month. It does not have to be something that's really crazy with all this type and all this stuff. It can be a photo and some text about the photo. You just want to show that you have a pulse, that you're still active, and that you're still engaged here on your site. All right. Also, too, if you're going to have the tweet and like button showing on your page, ask some of your friends to come in here and hit that like button so that potential clients don't come in here and see likes and 0. So this is where you're going to either take this off or call in some favors from your friends and family and ask them to go in there and like that blog post for you. All right, let's move on to Bravos. And so this is like a client testimonial page. I think this is fine. Let's see, this is nice. One thing that'd be nice is to have some photos from that session or from that client. I understand if they don't want you to do that, that's one thing. But if you ask, or I would definitely ask, you know, hey, I'm going to include your testimonial. Can I include a quick photo from that as well? Just next to it, so something so we can see the work next to the testimonial on here would be really nice. All right, let's go to contact us, and this is a custom contact page. So kudos to you for getting a custom contact page set up and put into this form. So nice job setting that up. Let's go on to the login page here. All right, so this is the login page, and that's going to be a little bit confusing. Probably what I would do is I would start thinking about having a clients drop down. So current clients, client galleries, login, or login and current client galleries. Something like that. Condense your site menu items down under one drop down for your clients. That way it's really clear that that's who it's for. And also, too, it's going to give you more room on your site menu and not make this feel so overwhelming. All right, let's take a look at events. And so this is just a custom page here with some information about events. Not a lot of information here. So, you know, when I click on that, I would really like to see some photos. Maybe a link to contact you, even though you have your contact button up here. You know, putting in the links here on these custom pages is going to be really helpful. But really, you know, haven't been able to see a lot of your work, and that's really my biggest concern with your website, is that there's not a clear path for me to get to where I can see more of your work. So let's go ahead and click on Rye Rain Shoots. Oh, all right. I don't know if you guys could hear that. There was music on the slideshow. And so if we scroll down here, offering rain shoots, we shoot at night in Rye, NY. These shoots are open to everyone. Maternity. Okay. And so just looking here, there's some photos in here of these shoots. Now, so many of these are portrait orientated. I really don't feel like that this slideshow is doing them service. So what you want to probably do is set up a gallery with these in there. But so many of these are portrait orientated, we can't see. I mean, it looks odd set off to the right here to the side. So if this was me, I would have these set up in a gallery and then have this information up top here in the gallery caption, rather than having it on this custom page with this slideshow. That's just my personal preference. I feel like it looks really odd thrown off to the side here to the right, especially when you come across some of these images that are horizontal or landscape orientated and they fill the screen a lot better. So I personally would probably use a gallery here instead of a custom page. Also, too, you guys probably can't see it, but down on the bottom the footer is showing. Let me see if I can get that pulled up here so you guys can see that. I can't get it to pull up. On the bottom down there, the footer is showing, and it has a lot of the exact same links, and it also has the social media information down here as well, and also has the search button. So make sure that you are intentional with your site menus, right? Your header and your footer. Do you want people to use this search button? Should I be able to come in here and search for portraits? Let's see what happens. If you're optimizing for search, that's one thing. But I typed in portraits and nothing is showing up. So obviously you're not setting your account up for search. So that search function up there, again, is going to be another really confusing factor to your visitors. What am I searching for? Why is nothing showing up when I search? If you're not setting up your site to be searched and you don't want people to do that, make sure that you turn that off of your header and your footer. All right. Let's go back really quick to that land page, that splash page, and let's just see what happens when I click on the events link. And so that takes me back to that custom page where it's just kind of the information about the events and what you offer, which I think is great information. But again, the one thing that I'm really lacking on your website and I'm really concerned about is that there is not a place for me to go and see more of your work. I can get to client galleries. Once I get in there, I can't really get into any client galleries. And so as a potential client looking at your website here, I am left really confused because I can't see any of your work. I go to the client galleries and then I can't get in and see anything, which is fine, but there's just not a really good intentional laid out path for me to follow of here's my work, here's how you learn more about me, now let's talk. And also too, I only saw mention of New York on 2 pages. That was the events page over here. And then that was the about page, which is right up here. And so I'm really going to recommend that you set up a portfolio section that's really easy to browse through and look at your work. Categorize it, put it in a drop down, put it up here, the very first thing, portfolio. It turns into a drop down. I can click on the different categories that I want to view. Next, having the about is fine. We need to get in there and fix that about photo or put a video in there. And then from that point, having some kind of contact us would be next, is what I would prefer. On that about page, making sure that you state it really clear that this is the area where you work and that you're accepting work in. If you travel, if you're a destination photographer, then say that. Then say, you know, this is where I live, but I'm a destination photographer. I will travel to you, or however you need to word that to say it. But you want to make it really clear that this is where you offer services at, and I just haven't seen that. Next on that blog, if you're not going to blog once a month, you're not going to make it like a priority to blog once a month, I would definitely suggest just removing the blog and focusing your attention elsewhere. Remember that blog is going to be your pulse. So when people are coming in here, blogs are usually have dates, and people can go there and look at that blog and see how active you've been. And that's going to show them, are you active? Are you staying relevant? Are you still involved? Are you still engaging? That blog is going to show them that, at least on your website. So if you're not going to blog once a month, I would definitely suggest removing that blog option. For the Bravos page, again, making sure that you have some images to go along with these client testimonials. Or, you know, if their clients are okay, maybe even linking to the gallery, and there would be a good idea as well. So having a little bit of visuals on here rather than just being a page full of text. Because I personally am probably only going to read the first few lines. That's just how I am. And then I would like to see some images from these shoots so I can see what the clients are talking about. The contact us page is perfectly fine. The login page and the client galleries, I think you should probably put those under a drop down. Get it a little bit more organized so that the path is laid out really clearly. And then the events by hat here, if you want to have this page, I would probably call this event services information. And again, I would probably put that in a gallery on its own and then put that information up in the caption. And also too, if you're going to have that homepage be the landing page after somebody clicks on this, you really want to consider the watermarks and these overlays right here. You've got some beautiful work up here. You know, from what I can see, your photos are beautiful. You do a lot of different services here. So you have maternity, newborn, and all of that. I need a place where I can go as a potential visitor or a potential client. I need a place where I can go and I can browse through this work without all these distractions, and just being able to see more examples of the work. So having a portfolio set up is really going to help you. But hey, thank you so much for submitting your site, and hopefully this review was helpful. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching that site review. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you click that subscribe button and hit the little bell icon so you get notified when we post videos and when we go live. Now, if you're interested in having your site reviewed, there's a link in the description below this video where you can submit your website for that. And in addition to getting a site review, you're also going to get a link where you can schedule a session with me. We're going to go over your website, go over the review. I'll answer any questions that you have and help you make any changes that you're interested in making. So the link to sign up for that is in the description below this video. Now, don't forget, Zenfolio Live coming up this Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Hope to see you guys there. Until then, I hope you have a great week.